So all of us amateurs lose loads of strokes on the green with our putter. So today we're lucky enough to be down in Mount Juliet at the Callaway Performance Centre for a full putter fitting with Matt Sandercock. We're going to have a look at all the Odyssey Ai-One putters, and he's going to put me through my paces and test out what's actually going on with me and my putting. So Matt, thanks for having us down here, Mount Juliet in the Performance Centre. Really looking forward to today. I've, let alone never had a putting fitting, but never even had a fitting. So you could be working from a really bad place. But how does it all set up? Well, what are we going to do?
So we're going to start off with the putter fitting today, and we're going to make sure we get the putter that fits you, as opposed to you fitting the putter. The problem we see a lot is people just go and get the putter off the shelf that the world number one's winning with this week, or a brand they've known for years, but actually they don't get the one that suits them. So what we do here is we fit everything down to the loft, the lie, the head model, the hosel. We'll go through all of that to make sure that what we do is we're giving you the right tools for the job effectively to make putting easier. It's the main element of most people's game. They have between 30 and 40 putts, sadly. When they're only hitting 85 to 90 shots for a lot of guys, that's nearly 50% of their round is on the green, so we need to get the one that works best and the most consistent. And with the AI technology that Callaway have in now, it's really become easy. So you really should be improving quite quickly after this.
Oh, I'm delighted to hear that. 'Cause putting is something I've always struggled with in every sense. Johnny's always having a go at me about this and that. So I'm really looking forward to see, am I a bad putter? Am I an okay putter? Or what reason I have and what suits me best?
We'll definitely get to the bottom of it, and it should be quite an easy fix, I'd imagine.
Happy days.
So what we'll do to start with, we'll hit a couple of putts. What ball would you use generally?
The triple tracker, because
Triple track,
yeah, I like having a line.
Good. And in relation to that, Chrome Soft? Or do you use the Chrome Tour, Tour X?
The Chrome Soft.
Perfect. So it's always important to get you fitted with the ball you use. Obviously, ball speed will change. Try you with this one. Obviously, you're rolling back the years for me here with the Versa.
Yeah.
So you just picked it off the shelf, or was it a case
just kind of picked it up, and it was always just kind of pick up a putter that wasn't, was second hand, something that I could just put with, and I kept chopping and changing. So
just make it work from there.
Yeah, just try and make it work.
Is there any regular issues you experience with this putter? Short, long, left,
short.
right?
I leave a lot short.
And is that from all distances?
Yes.
Would you say?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, so
definitely.
short, you still leave them short, and long you would be.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. I never ever get it past the hole.
So start with a little wrist to floor measurement.
Okay.
See what you're coming out at there for a static fit. Okay. Wouldn't always static fit for full fittings, because obviously the body's moving much more dynamically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Putting will kind of start with something that's a bit more regulated. So you're coming at an 89. Just that keeps us straight there. Imagine you're chatting to me in the pub, not doing a weird dance. 88, perfect. So you're 88, 89, which would put you in 34.5, 35 inch putter from a base point. So this one here in your hands, 34 inches, been well used, as we can see. So we can definitely improve a little bit of feel around the grip. Stroke, from what I'm seeing here, is pretty good.
Okay.
On a numbers basis of where we are. Your attack angle is very neutral, which is great. Big thing I'm looking at here initially is your face to path, okay? So your club face is left. The path is actually 4 degrees to the right. So in theory, you're hitting like a Rory draw, but over an 8-foot putt. So that's where the inconsistency will come.
Okay, yeah,
Every now and again, you'll flush one, time the release with the in to out. So we need to have a look at your closure rate of the putter and see, is it because the putter's too short? Could well be.
Okay.
Or is it just that the fitting of the neck that you have there? You have a flute neck, as opposed to maybe a step neck or a crank here. Well, I just want to see here. Take out the lines element there. If you just address that golf ball for me.
Okay.
And let me know where your eye line falls on that mirror. You should start to see your eyes fall on one of these 3-4 lines. You might sort of rock back forward to find your eyes if you can initially.
Oh yeah, I'm on this one here.
The second line in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what that's showing is realistically that on a 34 inch putter, you are looking for a slight toe hang. You do want something that's got a little bit of rotation. Okay. That's used to naturally. Now, whether when we give you a 35 inch, it might make you just stand a bit better. That can happen. If we give you a longer putter, we'll land you into something like this, which is 35. How do you stand? How does your eye line look at this point? Does it push you further away?
No, it brings me up to the other line.
Perfect. So now we know that if we get you a 35 inch, that brings you in. And this top line here is purely designed for a face balance putter. Not to say we wouldn't necessarily look at something like a cruiser to stabilize that.
And what's a cruiser now?
The cruiser's going to be the long ones. This is now what is becoming everybody's kind of favorite deal right now.
With the old
Wyndham being the hero with his Jailbird and Ricky coming back to life. Something like this in the 38 inch, obviously a bit heavier, a bit longer, but it allows you to grip in a more centralized position.
Okay.
But what it does, because the counterweight option at the top and being heavier, it's creating a more stabilized stroke.
There's not going to be as much...
Not so much rotation, temptation to flick even, could be another...
Yeah.
People come under pressure, those little things happen. Last thing I just want to check on is how we set up. So if we can just get you back to the ball there and see how you're looking on alignment. Okay.
I'd say my alignment is shocking because it's definitely something that affects me.
Yeah, I mean, the alignment aspect really we would look at to see where you're missing left or right, which one is it, and you're not really too sure. So I don't think alignment's going to be as big an issue as you think. Okay. As you can see, straight through the middle there, you're bang on. If we can get the basics correct by giving you the correct tools for the job, whether it's in a milled or an Ai-One or a cruiser, if we can get alignment square and start to reduce maybe the club path movement, striking it a little high on the face, that last one.
Okay.
You are pretty central. Okay, so in relation to what Callaway's doing now with the AI technology in the head, finally coming into the putter after being in the woods for so long, you'd see on the back of the putters this year, is where they have their weight ports. The weight is spread across after obviously thousands of tests as to where does it come into play, where do you strike it. Obviously this way here for a better player, they're being dragged into the toe side, keeps the speed up, any misstrike. Really, I'll be saying that for you, going on the numbers this year, that obviously 21% improvement on the Ai-One for consistency at distance versus the 10% in milled. Both huge changes, but for you, you're hitting pretty center. So might be look at an Ai-One or the AI milled. I'm not too bothered. We'll look at a couple of 35-inch options.
Okay. We
will also then see if that helps using a face balance putter as opposed to an arc.
Okay.
Put you in the cruiser, just see how bizarre that is. We might also try you in something a little bit too long, okay? So this one here is a 36 inch. So because we have every option here realistically, we can try you in some different lengths. Obviously, we'll be ruling out the ones that have the big toe hang from the start. So we're gonna put in a few that are slant because you do have that slight arc. Okay. So we might not wanna rule it out, but we might just wanna work with it. Yeah. So the putter tech can help you rather than you just being the outlier against it. We'll pull out a couple of milled, we'll pull out a couple of the general Ai-One also. So first thing we'll do here is you get yourself comfortable in alignment for what you're doing there. We'll start to see where 35 lines up for you if it improves alignment. Okay, good, so you're just to the right side. Now, ironically, it's where you've lined your golf ball up to. So that's where having that pre-shot routine is crucial because if you're gonna line up 3 degrees right anyway, no matter how good I am, no matter what you do next, it's not gonna work. So we need to get that bang on, you know, this is where the guys, but my big thing would be don't slow play down, so just do it when the others are lining up. So you're nearly there. So there's an element here where you're gonna have to look at your initial setup routine. Get yourself honed in. If you're gonna use a line, make sure you use it correct. Otherwise you're now lined up perfectly to miss right edge. We hit a couple of putts now with this 35 inch. Okay, and then we'll start looking at the options around the room as to how we can tie things in for you. Good, so you start to feel something a little bit different off that milled face.
I can feel the difference in the length alone. It feels more comfortable.
More comfortable?
Yeah.
So already there's quite a big difference, which is pleasing to see. Things that have improved straight away from me here, your face to path is come down. You've already started squaring the face back up. Okay. And also as I look through the numbers there, your face angle is less than before. It was currently being left behind and your club path is halved. So by having the putter an inch longer, you're now not pushing them to the right so much. You're not coming inside and having to go for it. Okay. So that means we definitely want to go up to that 35-inch strike. Okay. Now, as I look through the numbers also on here, the thing that's changing that I'm not so happy with is impact location. Okay, so your impact location is now going across to the heel side. Okay. Okay. And what's also happening is that your dynamic lie, so the way the putter is lying, is coming in less. Now we know we're looking at 35-inch putters. We know we're looking at face balance, maybe a slight arc. We can start to really go into the rest of it. So in the putter range, this fella.
The famous
one. The big Jailbird Mini that's obviously making its return this year. Pretty rare to get our hands on at the minute, so great to have one in the fitting bay. This, you'd nearly think it was made because it's 35 inches, it's face balanced, and it's in Jailbird.
Well, if you want me to take it out,
the only one I have. This has been great.
So biggest difference, so like, what's the biggest difference with Jailbird and say the other one I had that you gave me the other?
Yep, so we started off there with a milled, okay, so your milled 35.
Because now to me they look exactly the same. Bar like obviously colours ever, but what is the actual difference in the two?
So initially here is you have the different face, right? So we're going to start you in Ai-One. You're pretty central strike. Now, you've gone slightly towards one side in the mill, so we're going to see if this gets affected by going to Ai-One. Obviously slightly bigger head, slightly more stable again. The Jailbird has the joining bar across the back. Definitely not something I'm massively keen on as a viewing. When you look down on it aesthetically, I don't know if it's maybe the prettiest putter, but by all accounts, it's doing its job.
Especially for
Wyndham
Ricky
and the lads, they've had great results. You've also got a little bit of Versa technology, which I love the Versa technology. I think it's brilliant.
And what's that?
So Versa was the 1 degree out. So when you look down, the black, white striping is very obvious when you're lining up. So if you line up this ball here to that hole, for instance. Okay, we've done this a lot last year. I spent a year doing this. If you were lining up those 3 dots and I move that putter 1 degree either way, you can't really tell.
No.
Okay. If I cover those 3 dots and then do a little bit as well, you see how all those big lines?
Yeah.
It's very obvious all of a sudden.
Yeah, it is.
When you're off or you're on versus trying to line up dots. So
the two of them together then, I suppose.
2 together make it
even better.
Even better. Which is where I think Jailbird's come in, very stable head. So this is something we're definitely going to get you looking into here. So we'll just set you up with the Mini. These are, I could be jumping right to the winner, but we'll just stick as we are for a second before we take a few out. I'm going to be interested to see if a slight toe hang allows you to hit center again at 35 inch, because you were using 34 inch face balance.
Yeah.
Hitting middle but big into out.
Yeah.
But trying to do a square stroke but the face is rotating. So you're kind of amalgamating like 4 different options. Sometimes what you find is you can visually see when a stroke starts to get a bit smoother, less thinking of it, that's a big thing. Good. You're hitting it better. You hear there's a different sound in this to the milled.
Yeah, there is a different sound, all right.
Yeah. Bit harder, it's a bit softer feeling, but a bit harder sound would be our general consensus. Also what we've gone with this slant is, if you see here, you've actually come back. Good. See here, you've just drawn back into the center of the putter.
Okay. So this putter is bringing me back to the center.
So that's now squaring you up at 35 inches. That slight slant, so the slight toe hang, is giving you that bit more of an impact point. Good. Straight in the middle. So sometimes you can go with the fad, which would be, say, maybe Jailbird right now.
Yeah.
But it might not be the one you need. It's just the one that's working well for Wyndham, Ricky, and the guys. We'll try number 7. Okay. This one here is Ai-One. 35, but for us, it's really the Xander Schauffele kind of neck. Okay, it's a big step. It's a slight toe. It's got the slight step neck on it. This can help a number of things. Things I like to see this putter do. Yeah. Having the step neck keeps the hands in front.
Okay,
that impact,
that makes sense.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
The fact it's got the very easy, obvious sight lines means it's quite easy to line up.
So if you kind of know straight away if
you're coming in. Because you've got multiple options.
Yeah.
A bit like the Rossi. Jailbird's the same, but in different mentalities. So here we're going to see how we're going to hit a couple of these ones at 35. Good. So initial looks better, worse than the Rossi?
Much. I prefer it to the Jailbird.
You prefer it to Jailbird? Good. The first putt was perfect, so it was a good start. We can only go one way from there. Well, you can see on your numbers, because you're coming back in towards the centre.
Okay.
Okay. Visually, the ball's rolling straighter. We'll take them on the grass, because that's really obviously
this does make a big difference.
The big boy stuff. You're back towards the centre of the putter now, which is really what I'm concerned on. So we're now getting a little bit nearer to where we need to be. Okay. Step next, what's suiting you. Slight toe hang, nothing too crazy, as you can see.
Yep.
We'll take you into the milled world now. Okay, this is something that's a little bit different in the face again. Bit thinner, get a slightly different feel off it. I'll let you decide what that feel is, as opposed to me trying to sway you with anything there. Okay. Same putt again. We'll try a few more indoors, and then we'll start looking at final options outside. Good. That's good. How does that feel?
That's nice.
So Ai-One milled, number 7, with the step neck, seems to be getting some nice performances. So the big thing there is I put you in a 36-inch putter there, so you've gone up again.
I didn't even know that was a 36.
And didn't feel the difference. So that for me is for someone who's visibly more comfortable in something that's longer, not necessarily changing anything else. Your stroke's got freer without knowing it. That's where the fitting element, when you get the right one, makes the big difference. So you're now like 1 degree into out. Okay. Your face to path is 1.8 closed. So you've now squared everything up to 0. Obviously you're a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, which is, and I don't feel any different. It just feels a little bit more
comfortable. You're not feeling anything different there.
No.
So if you start getting over and over the ball, obviously then your weight goes onto your toes. When you go back, what's going to happen? You're going to rock. Yeah. Then you're going to shove to the right. Yeah. So you're actually changing your whole posture to use a putter, whereas really the putter should be fitting your comfortable posture. We try what is now the most popular option for a lot of guys. We're going to chuck you in to the cruiser.
Okay, and what's the difference between the cruiser? Why is it so popular?
The counterbalance and length. Now for you, this isn't going to feel quite so odd. You've gone from 34 to 36. Yeah. So now putting you in a 38 isn't going to be that odd. Okay. What it's allowing you to do is it's allowing you to grip down the putter to where you want to grip. 17-inch grips, it's longer than usual. Mm-hmm. Heavier shaft, heavier head. Okay. More stability yet again. I'd always advise gripping below the Odyssey swirl. Okay. Now that's probably going to be exactly where you want to grip anyway, given the 36. Have a little look at it. Have a few practice strokes where you even think of hitting a putt with it, because it's different. Now, it'll be interesting to see, do you start to stoop and lean again? Because
I'm going lower.
Because you're going lower to try and...
I'm trying to hold,
Yeah. Now, the cruiser has become really popular for a number of reasons. One is the counterbalance effect, which is obviously massive in getting the right putter. But I also think the popularity on tour means you don't have to give it a good whack.
Yeah, you can just roll it.
You can roll it, so you can make a really good just stroke at it, square back, square through, and hit the putt. And you feel how stable it is.
Yeah,
it's not going offline.
No, not at all.
Great roll on the ball. You can see it yourself. It's end over end over end. Comes off a little bit quicker than the milled. So we'll try now the cruiser, 1 double wide in the step neck, obviously, which is the neck we've kind of identified as the biggest improvement to us. Yeah. We'll try and grip it down to kind of the 36 mode. Obviously a little bit heavier than you would have used. Your putting stroke, I have to say, numbers-wise, I'd be selling you a cruiser at this point.
Really?
But that's probably because we've now found the eureka moment of the right length. Okay. You're getting comfortable.
It seems very easy to pull back and go through.
Very stable.
Very stable.
Great flow to it because of the counterbalance.
This one's nicer than that one.
And why? Why would that be? When we look at the putter we were doing really well with a minute ago. Yeah. Which is the biggest similarity is your neck.
The neck, okay.
So the neck is what's giving you the option.
That comfort.
So you know you need step neck. So what we'll do is we'll take both out on the putting green. We'll try them both. 2 different faces. So really, this one shouldn't have felt any different. It shouldn't have sounded any different. But if you're not striking the middle...
But is that literally because of the neck that I feel it's a different...
You're feeling something different. Because it's the same length. The step neck is allowing you to hit the middle more. So now you're able to produce consistency. Even on the bad ones,
it felt so much more comfortable.
So you've gone from a 34-inch double bend face balance putter to a step neck, 36 minimum, possibly a cruiser. And we'll see how it goes on the skid and roll test out on the green, and then how you measure distance control.
Had some booty It's grand sitting in here on a nice Astro where there's
so we'll take you out on the grass, see if you can measure a 30-footer roughly to the right specimen. But we now know, when we go back through the years, looking at a Versa,
it's just nowhere near where I need to be.
No. Out here, we're looking really for distance control, so how that actually affects. Obviously, the AI face we know has all the tech in behind to assist us, but we're trying 2 completely different versions here. Really, we're using a 36-inch milled, and we're going to be using the cruiser in the Ai-One. Yeah. Different face, different feel, different length, different weight. But after our internal testing, we know full well that we need one of these 2 really to take our game to the next level. We'll start with a 36. I'll let you hit a couple of putts. Okay. Then we'll hit the cruiser, a couple of putts. We'll check ourselves on the skid board, make sure we're not giving anything a bit too much loft, which could be causing an issue on long distance putts if you're starting to get a bit scoopy. Yeah. Chances are now we've changed the neck, that's not going to be happening anyway. But again, it will show us a good start line and it will show us how we're rolling out. You're outside, obviously, not going to be quite the pace of the green indoors. Good. How does it feel when you're outside in 36? Still feels fine? Still feels comfy?
It feels very comfy, yeah.
So now the interesting thing to be, now we're out here, how's lineup? You know, is our lineup improving now we're outside? Now we're not getting used to the same putt. That one there is bang on where you were aiming, so you hit a good putt, but to the right, so that's not a problem. That one there didn't sound so good, but yet still got to the intended target, which is the main thing we're really looking for. You know, we're not going to strike it perfectly every time, but once we're getting that little grouping of balls here where they've had a chance to go in, we're in a better position. Let's see now how Cruiser kind of fits in the bill. Okay, so first one's a bit tentative.
Yeah.
Again, it's got longer. You're feeling it's going to go off like a rocket. Good.
Yeah, that's true, because it's longer. It does feel like it's going to go faster.
Yeah, you still got to put a stroke in it, you know, it's not quite automated. So next thing we're going to do now is just see how we're launching. So I won't bother putting the line, I'm just going to let you address it, okay? And all you're doing is hitting a straight putt off the end of the board, okay, towards that flag distance. You've got to hit it 30 feet is your intention here. Good. See from this side. Good, so if you come to here where I am, you can really see what your putter just did here. So as you look down the velvet board, you can actually see your exact path of your ball.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, okay, so
that's
it gives
really
you a
cool.
little bit, it's a bit different. What it allows us to see is how straight did you launch it. So actually, without putting a line on your ball, you can launch.
It was pretty good.
Dead straight, yeah. Good. So now we start to see, again, you're starting them dead straight. We'll test you in the middle a second. I want to see if it makes any difference there because, well, you see, launching the ball straight is what you need to do. We can line it up and do everything in the world, but if we still don't match it up to hit a straight shot, we're in problems. Good, so just straight off the end of the ball, hit it to the flag. Ooh. So then you step here, even straighter. So the way I'm looking at this currently is you're in a 36 milled instead of the Cruiser.
And a ball with no lines.
So really what we're getting to find now is, even when you look at these putts, you're 36, you're actually hitting the right distance from the off.
Yeah.
Cruiser, you're a little bit more tentative. From my perspective, from the fitter, I'd be quite confident in saying the one you have in your hands is what I'd be recommending. I think really it's just a little bit of practice, getting yourself comfortable with it.
Yeah.
36 inches is obviously the big step.
Yeah.
And then obviously the crank neck gives you your results. So
Definitely.
for me, I'd be saying go for the milled 7T in the CH in the 36 inch, and you should be away from there.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
All right. So have a go, see you go.